right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, and back again with another lesson. We really dealing with Revelation 13, the MOTB. Lord willing, they don't take down this video or my channel for it, because I'm gonna be breaking it down. Now we had gone over this in class recently, and so through the Spirit I wanted to go over it again. And I figured that when you go into certain precepts, when you're able to put the words out, Jake is able to learn better. So through the Spirit, let's see how it goes. All right, so and really there's a lot of things going on right now. There's I just saw a breaking news article saying that Biden is writing up, or the Biden administration is writing up, for lack of a better word, pretty much like orders or plans to send units over there to the east. I think they said to the Baltic area, the region, dealing with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. So you have a lot of things going on there, but we understand that regardless of where it goes, right, regardless of whether they actually officially declare war and start going back and forth, the ultimate destruction, where those hot, fiery thermonuclear missiles are flying to the point of America's destruction, is not going to happen. It's not going to hit until this prophecy gets fulfilled in its fullest. Okay, as you all know, or you should know, Elon Musk, he's saying this year, pretty much they're getting ready to start putting those charagmas inside people's heads. All right, so seeing all those wars and rumors of wars, knowing how much closer this, which is a major prophecy, this MOTB is, you need to understand it. And I don't mean just know the prophecy, I mean to understand the prophecy, right? What is the MOTB? How do you break it down? How do you know that the MOTB is the charagma, right? How do you know that? You just know it because you were told, but so Lord's willing, we're gonna go into that and it be edifying. So we're gonna start with Revelation chapter 13, verse 15, and let's get it in here. All right, this is the book of Revelation chapter 13, starting at verse 15. It says, and he had, so I'm going to read it, and then we'll once again, we'll hit some of those key words to give the understanding of it. Okay, so Revelation 13 and 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right? So Revelation 13 and 15, now we got to break down, okay, who are we talking about, right? It said, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So who, right? Let's deal with verse 15. Verse 15. He had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Who is this he? All right. Esau, Edom. Esau. But more specifically, because the he is not your average Edomite. The he is not your Edomite elementary school teacher. He's not the one that has power to give life unto the image of the beast. Okay, the he are really the Edomites, but the elites, or let me put it like that, the elites, because you have the bulk of these elites that we talk about the Rothschilds, the banking families, right? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and so on and so forth. But there's a whole lot of them. And you have the secret societies that they set up to accomplish, infiltrate, and get things done that would ultimately lead, all right, to the fulfillment of their agenda. So Revelation 13 and 15, and he causeth, or Slakia, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So who is the he? The he is Esau, Edom, right? And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Well, what does that mean? That he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So life, right? What's life? Keyword is life. And then we also have the image. Okay? Because when you deal with a lot of chapters in the book of Revelation, you have to deal with, especially when it comes to the NWO, when it comes to the the MOTB. It's not just the charagma, right? There's other aspects. You have um the beast itself, then you have his image, and then you have his charagma, right? I'll just write it like that. Or I'll say it like that so you can see it. Okay, these are the three key parts that you need to understand when you deal with Revelation 13. Pretty much damn near all the books in the book of Revelation. All right, all the chapters in the book of Revelation. Okay, you got to understand who is the beast, what is his image, and what is his charagma. So that way, when you read it, because there is a differentiation between these three, they're not all the same thing. Because if they were, they wouldn't be classified into three categories. Okay, and the image is not a picture of Cesare Borgia. Hell no. All right. So the beast, we know you had the first beast, right, which was we'll just do P for pagan, Roman Empire. Hopefully that's the writing is visible. I know it's a little small. This is a P that stands for pagan, right? The pagan Roman Empire, and then you have the modern beast, which today is NATO. Should probably make that all caps. NATO and the EU, European Union. All right, this is the modern beast, the one that we're dealing with today. Which really, when you go into it, this beast is just this one coming back. All right, and that's where you hear about in the deadly wound was healed. This beast went down. That was when it had the deadly wound, and then it came back through the Renaissance era, leading up until now, where they have established themselves by this power structure. So the beast is the actual powers, right? The power structure. They are the beast. Okay? And on the root level, these are all just Edomites. All right? Oh, Esau. These are all just Edomites anyway. Okay? You had even starting with Alexander, because the Roman Empire really was the Greco-Roman Empire, because the Romans assimilated the Greeks into their empire. Right? So you have, this is the beast right here. Okay, now you have his image. Boom. And his image is not an actual picture. Okay, but his image is really, we could say, the system. Oh. Let me actually get some space up in here. So you have his system, right? And under his system, what are some examples of that? Right? And if you brothers and sisters have any dealing with the system, you can just put them on the comment board. Right? What are some examples of the system that is, or the image of the beast that goes back to ancient Rome? And there's a whole lot. Okay, and through these examples, we pinpoint, oh yeah, this is Rome coming back again. Okay, and then you have his charagma, which you probably don't even need that much space for that. It's pretty much just one word. So we'll place it down here. You have his charagma. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. We have democracy. Which, yeah, I mean, we could add that, democracy, because it's sort of based on that system back there. The government, okay, give me more. What about the government? Sorry, this guy. What about the government, right? The government, but why, what about this government goes back to ancient Rome, But you mentioned democracy, right? So you can go into their political system, the medical field, all right? So in democracy, we'll just put political system, and then let's see, political. All right, Salakia. These devils just cut the stream for no reason. I don't know why, but Brakatayah Bashim Shai is able to get it back. So Salakia, let me just position this right again. Yep, that's right. That's right. Presidents. Salakia, let me just get this set up. There we go. Presidents are modern day Caesars. So you have presidents. What else we had? The army. Let me just put mine. Let me put Caesars next to it. Olympic Games, bread and circuses, the Senate. The Senate, that's good. Let's put bread, which I'm running out of space over here, but these are all good. These are all good. The two parties, the political parties. So pretty much all the yep. So pretty much all, even the language, right? You have Latin. Latin, right? And somebody mentioned the medical field. They deal with a lot of these words, these terms. They all go back to the ways of ancient Rome. So you have this system, right? The image. So you have this beast, and then the image of the beast. We're gonna need to move this down just a little bit more. So let's put here this charagma. So this is the image of the beast, because all these are examples that are implemented in this system, and these examples, you can find them also in the ancient Roman empire, the ancient Roman system, you know, where they had the consuls and the proconsuls, they had the Senate, they had the bread and circuses, all the political system. Back then you had the plebeians and the patricians. Now you have the Democrats and the Republicans. All right, so these are all good. Okay, and then lastly you have his charagma, which is that, let me just write it out. Okay, them chips with no dip, and that is the actual charagma. Okay, so when you're dealing with the Revelation 13, you're dealing with the beast. You got to know the difference between these three, and this is why people get stuck on the breakdown, because they read this, then they skim over the image, they skim over the beast. They don't know how to break down who the beast actually is, so they just tell you that, oh no, the MOTB is actually this or is that. But as we go through, okay, as we go through the actual breakdown of it, you'll see how a lot of these other white women, Christianity, it doesn't make sense. There's no room to fit that into the actual breakdown of Revelation 13. All right, so I'm gonna erase this part. This is all good, so I can have some space for this. And if you need to see it, you can just rewind the video. See, that's the beautiful thing about the technology the Lord, you know, has allowed this devil to have, is you can just rewind the video. You know, if it's not there, now it's there. Boom. All right, cool. So we know that the He, Revelation 3 and 15, and He had power to give life. The He is the elites, right? To give life, meaning you're reviving it or you're bringing it back, right? You're making it prevalent, right, and active. Okay, so let's just write a few of those down. Revive, animate, active, right? So he was able to give life onto the image. Now we just went over examples of the image, which is that system. So when these devils came back into power, these elites, they started working through their legislations, they started working through their agendas, through their secret societies and so on and so forth, to set up a system that was going to revive or bring back that ancient Roman system. So once they got into the power seat, they said, hey, look, we're going to structure our political system after the ancient ways where we had it. So until they set it up, those ways were quote unquote dead, because nobody had instituted them. So when they came up into power, they revived those systems by signing or setting up a society that would be structured after those old ways. And now those old ways are back into practice. They're back into place, aka they're alive. Okay, and we went into the image, which is the system. So Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life onto the image of the beast, right? It says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, so now you have worship. Which in this context, you can go into reverence, comply, modern day terms, be down with, partake. So what he's doing is these elites are now, they've revived this system from the ancient ways, and now they've furthered it. Not only have they brought it back, but they furthered it. So it was the old system, but now they're furthering it into what's called the NWO. Right? The NWO. And so anybody that's not down, you're not willing to comply, you're not willing to be down, you're not willing to partake of, you're not willing to reverence and bow down and be ingratiated into this system, into by worshiping the image of the beast. You're allowing yourself to be ingratiated with this system. And how are they ultimately going to do that? By putting that charagma inside you, and that's going to make you a part of it. Okay, that's going to be like your branding. And so anybody, and that's why with the whole situation that's been going on the past year and a half, going on 2 years, you know, a little over it. But what they've been doing is setting up a system in which you notice key words and key terms they use. They'll use the terms comply, right? Non-compliant. They're creating this division between those that are willing to obey and those that are not. They're demonizing those that are not. That is on a lower level an example of, as it says, that they should be killed. Because what they're doing is they're preparing people's minds. They're preparing people's minds so that if you are not down with this system, you are going to be crossed out. And right now it starts with demonization, but very soon it's going to get to the point of actual death, where they will be putting people to death because they will find a justification to attach to the demonization, so that if you say, oh, I don't want to worship this system, it's not just going to be, oh, I don't want to worship this system. No. It's going to be, you're a terrorist. You're an enemy of the state. You're a danger to society. You're so bad, we got to put your ass out. And what this devil does is, if this is you, right? This is you right here. What he's going to do is, instead of demonizing you, he ain't going to demonize you. He's going to create a term or a label, right? Conspiracy theory. Let's just put conspiracy. Terrorist. Enemy. Danger. This is what the devil does. Because he's going to waste too much energy if he says, I'm going to just apply, I got to apply this to you, then I got to say you're this, then I got to say you're this, then I got to say you're this, and I got to prove it. And then if another person does that, then I got to demonize them individually. They're not going to do that. That's too much energy. So what? Create a term or a label, right? Maybe put something like extremist. Create a term, extremist, and then define that term extremist by synonyms like this. And then all you have to do is just apply this to whoever you want, either a person or a group of people. That's all they're going to do. So what they do is, if you notice, these devils, they create a concept or a term. An extremist, he's a BHI, he's black, he's this. And then they slap whoever they want with that term. Less work. Because if they want to demonize you, they got to say, this guy specifically is this because he did this or he said this. No. Just put all these terms here and just say, hey, he fits this category. So he is an extremist. But what comes with an extremist? You got to have a way to deal with extremists, right? Because now we have these guys, they're a problem in society. But what do we do to terrorists? What do we do to enemies of the states? What do we do to conspiracy theories? You know, what do we do to extremists? And then they're justified in punish. So now you an average, regular individual. And if they were to try and demonize you, they can't put you to death because they say, okay, pull up his case, right? All right, this guy, well, he goes to work. He radicalism, good one. He goes to work. He's a law-abiding citizen. He does what he needs to do. He hasn't murdered anybody. He hasn't hurt, he hasn't done any of these things. So now, how do we kill somebody like this? Or how do we put somebody like this in jail? What's his case? You know what we're going to do? We ain't even going to focus on him. We're going to focus on these guys, this concept. Wow, what do we do to terrorists? We got to put them to death. Conspiracy theorists, they're a danger. Cross them out from society. Enemy of the state, lock him up. You know, he's a danger. You gotta do something bad to these people. And now, if I just say this guy is one of these, then I can be justified in performing all of these evil actions to him. Because he's a terrorist. So I can do what I do to terrorists to him. He's an enemy of the state. I can do what I do to enemies of the states to him. So when they set up these legislations, they set it up against terms, BHI. And then they just label you as one of those. And then they're justified in doing whatever it is they want to do to you, in their eyes at least. Okay? So when it says that anybody that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, they will set up a term or a label or a category to fit you in if you don't want to bow down to the system, if you don't want to comply. And that is going to be anybody in that category, we're justified in doing this to you. Anybody in that category, now, modern day terms, they use the unfinessed. Oh, if you're unfinessed, we can throw you in a concentration camp. If you're unfinessed, you shouldn't get health care. If you're you see? And then they just got to slap whoever they want with the label. So these devils, man, when the scriptures say that the heart is deep, they think of all these things, I forgot how it's worded, but I know it's in the book of Psalms, you know, they search out iniquities. That's what they do. What's the best way we can get these people and blah, 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 blah. Now let's get to the 16th verse, which is really the main part, right? As some people like to skip over. But when you understand, look, now when you understand the prophecies, you don't run away from them. You know, you don't shy away from them when people approach you and they say, oh, well, what is this or what is that? You know, if anything, you be eager to explain it to them. So verse 16, and then you're going to have a lot of keywords in here. All right. So Revelation 13 and 16, which says here, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. So let's break that down. Now, and he causeth all. Once again, we know who the he is. We just identified that in verse 15. The he is Esau, Edom, starting with their elites. Right? And it says he causeth. So, key words. First one, we have causeth. These are words you have to look into. Right? He causeth. Causeth is a key word. Now, causeth, what does that go back to? Like yesterday, we went into the root language. You had Greek. So in the Greek, the word there is poeo. Let me just get it so I don't butcher the spelling. Just give me 1 second while I pull up this Greek word right here. There we go. So you have poieo. There we go, poieo. And when you look up the definition, they'll tell you to make ready. To make ready. To prepare. Right? To, let's see, prepare, make ready. Let's see what else they got. Which pretty much this should be good. Let's see. To prepare, to make, to fashion. That's the one. To fashion. All right. So causeth, make ready, prepare, fashion. All right. And what we're gonna do is after we break these down and we define them, then when you read Revelation 13 and 16, you're not just he causeth. No. What is causeth? What are some synonyms? What does it mean? So you can actually break down the verse and understand, when it says he causeth, really this is what it means. And if I understand what it means, then I can identify when he's actually doing it in real life. So verse 16, it says, and he causeth both, he causeth all. All is a good word. We went into that as well. I don't know if the brother Haran is watching, but he brought it out when we went into it. I'll see if I can find it here. It was a word for it. Nevertheless, it was, the definition was, of course, everybody, but it's um individually to, let's just put universally, right? So individually to universally, or from individuals to the whole. And what I mean by this is, let me see. What I mean by this is, say you have, I don't know, you have 20 people, right? You have 20 people and you want to have a full count. If you want to have the whole, you get them one by one, right? So you start at number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and from individually, after you are done going individually, you're going to have a whole. So you're going to start with these people first, then these people, then these people, and by the time you realize, you got everybody. Okay? So he causeth all, he's going to get everybody, but Esau moves in increments. Okay? And that's why when you look at, like I said, the things that's been going on so far, okay, they started with this country. Oh, this happened here. Oh, this happened here. Oh, this happened here, collectively. The water. Let's put that there too. Collectively. So this country got this here. This country got that here. This country. Now you notice they didn't just say, boom, everybody got it at once. No, it started over here, then it spread. Then it spread. Then it spread. So from this to this to this. So if one gets it, that's one. Then that's two. So if you want to get 100%, you get 10%. Then only 90% more to go. Then you get another 10%, 80% more to go. Then you get 20%, 60% more to go. So they do this guy, then this guy, then this guy. Then before you know, they got everybody. That's what they did with the whole Vanessa, right? They said, first we're going to start with these people. They're going to get first access, right? We're going to get the teachers, the healthcare workers, and these people. We're going to get them. The goal was really get everybody, but we're going to get these people first. Then next phase comes these people. Next phase comes the immunocompromised. Next phase comes the people 65 years and older. Next phase comes the black community. Next phase comes these. So gradually, they get everybody. Exactly. Gradually, they get everybody. So they'll get you, then they'll get you, then they'll get you. And that's how this devil's moving. All right. So right now, they started with Sweden. You know, they're getting some other places too, but they will eventually spread it and get everybody. So he's going to cause all. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, which that's pretty self-explanatory. It says to receive a charagma. So that's a very big key word right here. All right. And if you don't understand this word, you miss the whole breakdown. Okay. So you have the word, this word, which in the Greek you have charagma. All right. And when you look it up, it'll tell you that it is an etching, right? It'll say like an etching or a scratching. And what that means is pretty much going beneath the surface. Because when you have, for example, somebody carves, right, a carving. If somebody carves or sculpts, what they're doing is they're taking a sharp object and they're cutting beneath the surface in order to leave that sign or whatever it is. So if you want to maybe carve something into a tree and you take a knife and then you first stab the tree and then you drag and then you make your sign or picture or whatever in the tree. What you're doing is you're using a sharp object to go beneath the surface of the tree so that you can leave whatever design you want underneath the surface. All right, you're cutting past the surface. So in essence, charagma is an action, and it's an action of going beneath the surface. All right, you're going past the surface. So you have etching, you have, let me just put beneath surface, and so incision. Because an incision, they use a needle and they go beneath the surface. They go under the skin, okay? Subdermal. And then whatever it is, if you get a shot, they release whatever it is in there, okay? So you have charagma, which is an action of going beneath the surface. When you are etching, you go beneath the surface. When you are carving, you go beneath the surface, okay? Now, when you deal with the word charagma, you got to notice that there's I believe 2 more root words. All right, you have charagma, then you have charax or karax. I think is karax, if I spelled that right. Let's see. I'm just checking the spelling here real quick. Salakia. All right, perfect. So you have karax, right? Which will be, here they tell you a pale or a stake or a palisade. Now, in essence, what that is going to be the instrument. The karax is the instrument that's used to perform charagma. Because in order to cut or penetrate or make an incision, all these things, for example, right? If I'm using a knife to carve my initials inside of a tree, what does that knife have in common with a needle going into somebody's skin? You know? Or a sculptor using a chisel and a hammer to sculpt into the marble. All of them have a sharp end, okay? Or like even when you have like a fence, you know, and then they have like the big log, and then the ending is sharp so that it can cut and go into the surface. I mean, into the ground. Okay. So what does a knife or a needle or a chisel have in common? They all have a sharp end, and they are used to cut beneath the surface of something. Okay. So you can say, let's just put pale. What do they have here? Pale. They have stake. But you can say instrument of cutting. Because in order to perform charagma, you gotta cut. You gotta go beneath the surface. Okay? So the karax is what you're gonna use in order to get beneath the surface. How do I penetrate past the surface? How do I go past? I need some, whether it's a knife, whether it's a chisel, whether it's a needle, you know, whether it's a pin, I need something that is of a sharp end that I can use to go beneath the surface to perform this action. Okay? And then the last word from that is graphel. Okay, you have graphel. Okay, here they spell it with an F. So you have graphel, and graphel in essence is really like the data. Okay, the data or the information, right? So let's put data, for example. Data, information. Now, if I am carving something into a tree, I go beneath the surface, I use a knife to go beneath the surface, and after I go beneath the surface, what am I doing there? If I'm carving something, I'm leaving a mark, I'm leaving information, I'm leaving a logo, I'm leaving a signal, I'm leaving something over there. Okay? If I am, you know, injecting somebody with something, I cut into their skin, I go beneath the surface, I use the needle, which is the karax, to go beneath the surface, but once I'm there, what am I doing? What am I leaving there? So when you look at the process of receiving that charagma, you're gonna have somebody, they're gonna probably get some alcohol if it's right here, they're gonna rub it nicely, they're gonna get that big needle, and then they're gonna perform charagma, right? The needle is gonna, and then it's gonna go beneath the surface of your skin. And then what are they gonna be using for that? The needle, which is the karax, the delivery system. And within the needle, you're gonna have the actual thing, okay? And that thing is gonna hold the data. So once they go beneath the surface, they push it and then they leave that in there. So when you go to get it scanned, what are they scanning? They're scanning what was left in there, which is that data. So it can have your Vanessa information on there. It can have your social security information on there. It can have your banking information on there. So it's carrying information, it's carrying data. And there's what's going to be left by this device through the process of charagma. So this is a physical thing. Okay? This is a physical thing. You don't physically cut somebody to put Christianity into them. That goes into their mind, and you don't physically cut them for that. Okay? You ain't, and damn sure ain't no way you could cut somebody with a white woman. So when you understand the actual process, all right, of receiving this charagma, you say, wait, hold on. How do you fit sleeping with white women in here? That in no way, shape, or form does that even, because where's the cutting? You know, what point in the process? Oh, well, when you sleep, boy, you got to cut into her. You got to tear into her. No, it doesn't make sense. It's an embargo. Where's the cutting? You know, where's the going beneath the surface if it's an embargo? All right. So where is that? It's not there. So that's why a lot of these people, they try to, is this really, when it says that, it's talking about your power, the power of your hand. No, it's a physical action that they're going to do and that they are doing. And if you go and sit down and let them do this to you and they leave that thing in you, you're done. You're going to get judged. Okay? So let's see what else we got. Revelation 13:16, it says here, and he causeth all, we went into that, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand. Let's put that there, right hand. Which in the Greek, I believe, is dexos. Let's make sure we get that right. 1 second. Yeah, oh, dexios. Dexios. Let's see. Dexios, which is your actual, says their right hand. Which, if somebody was to tell you this, right? They say, wait, hold up. In the verse it said right hand. So that means that if I take it somewhere else, I'll take it. It ain't, you know, I'm gonna be fine. That means I don't have it. But there's various other scriptures that can disprove that, you know, which I'm sure brothers already know. You can just start posting them. There's various, what scriptures come to mind that to if somebody tries to hit you with the argument, oh, well, it says right hand, so that means if I don't take it in the right hand, then I'm good. There should be script, whatever scriptures you got that can basically counteract their point of that. Just put them up. And majority, I mean, they're going to be in the book of Revelation anyway, you know. But see, these are things that, like I said, when you understand the breakdown, you know how to defend. Because if you're parroting, right? If you're parroting, you hear this, you're like, okay, you're trying to remember as much of what you're seeing, right? Okay, all right, he said this is this, he said this is, okay, cool. So somebody comes up, boom, 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 yeah, well, it's really this. Then they ask you a question about it. Now you out here like, well, because you didn't study it, you didn't understand it, you just parroted. Now they ask you, they take you somewhere that you never heard before. Now you tripping. You know, what's that about? Beautiful. That's right. Revelation 14:9. Yep. Revelation 16:2. Revelation 14:9. That's it right there. You know. Yep. Revelation 20:4 as well. And now you notice in there it doesn't specify right hand. It says in the hand, right, or in the forehead, and in the other ones it also says any of them that just took it. If you take it, meaning you receive it into your body, you're done. And Revelation 14:9 tells you the judgment that's going to happen for those who go and undergo this process. So a lot of people in Sweden, man, they're gonna be missile food, and anybody else that takes it. So you have right hand. It says, or in their foreheads. Okay, foreheads, which in the Greek is metapon. Let's confirm that. Okay, and their right hand on their forehead, and then pretty much the space. Oh, let me write that right. All right, in the Greek you have metopon. metopon, it says the space between the eyes. Space between eyes. Okay? So now, when you look, that's right. So you see meta, right? So when you look into the metopon, you understand that right now, what do we have going on? You have Elon Musk coming out and saying that they're gonna start going into human trials of the brain charagma, where they insert it inside your brain, because they're not gonna try to put it in here. There's barely any space between your physical right here and your skull. All right, so where the hell are they gonna put it? You're gonna see that big ass thing over here? No, they're gonna put it inside. Okay, they're gonna put it inside because it needs to connect with your brain to function a certain kind of way. All right. Now, when you look at the human head, you pretty much have hair all around your head. Okay. So the best way to really access, if there's something in here, like when you during the whole situation, you would go and they would check your temperature, then they would check your hand, or they would check you right here. Okay. So what John saw was, when the scriptures tell you, when you go into verse 17, it'll tell you that, and no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you can see John saw that people would, he would see people that some would go and then some would get turned away. And then some would go and then some would get let in. But what was the difference between those that got let in and those that got turned away? Clearly somebody would go and then they would either stand there and then they would scan them here, or they would scan them wherever they got it, left, right, wherever. They would scan it and then they would be good. But then somebody else could go and then, they'll scan them and they'll see, oh, hold on. They'll deny him access. Now you can't come here. So you're like, wait, hold on, there's something going on. Hey, Mosai could have showed him, the actual scenes of the actual process of people, actually getting it in here, chipping stations. And then the Mosai could have showed him somebody who done received it and then went into the store and now they let him in, and then somebody who didn't and then they denied him. So that's why he said, no man, nobody could buy or sell save he that had taken this thing. So now, to finish it off, verse 16, you put it all together. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. So when you read it with the understanding, after you've broken down the different words, you say, and he, right, these elites, causeth, meaning they make ready everybody, from least to greatest, from individual least to collectively. All right, they make ready everybody. So what are they doing right now? So if somebody asks you, right, this demic, this pan that's going on, is it in the Bible? Yes, it is. It's in the word causeth. Because what is this thing that they're doing going to lead to? It's going to lead to this. All right, it's going to lead to this. So they are making people ready right now with everything they're doing to receive this. Okay? So, and these elites make ready or cause or fashion or prepare everybody to receive, to take a incision, right? Led by the cutting instrument, and ultimately what's going to be left in there. That this is going to be in the form of this. All right? So they're making everybody ready to receive that. To physically receive this. Here it says in their right hand or in their forehead, okay? Which is going to be the areas that they're going to be scanning to check whether you have this or not. Listen, man, people like to be, well, what if I get in my right ass cheek? You're not going to go to freaking BJ's and here it is, they checking, the lady's there, she scans all the items on the cart, and she's like, can I scan it? And then you just start unbuckling your belt. 1 second. You start unbuckling, and then you you gonna jump and sit on the countertop, and she gonna, no, they're gonna probably call security on your ass the second you start. Oh, what the hell are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry, I just got an implant over here. No, sir, I'm sorry. What are you doing? Then they're gonna escort you out the area. So what if I get in my ass cheek, my kneecap? You got pants on. What, you gonna pull your pants down so you can lift up your knee and they can scan it? No, there's gonna be conventional. It's gonna be a conventional way of receiving it. You know, you're gonna come there and they're gonna tell you, all right, you want the hand or you want the head? You know, that's it. You ain't gonna, well, I was looking at being my left rib. So if you could, sir, all right, you just, you know. So people, hey, but nevertheless, that is Revelation 13, the MOTB. It's a physical thing. And as you are seeing, and as you will see, Lord willing, this year, they're gonna roll out this thing. And you're gonna see people going, and they're gonna, the same way they brought the portable big vans that they can give you the Vanessa, they're gonna bring stations where you can go, because it's simple. Even tattoo parlors are starting to charagma people, you know. So you're gonna have people, even people you know, people you went to school with, people you've met before, celebrities, and the new fad, the new thing is gonna be, yo. And if you don't got it, you ain't down, you ain't a part of it. You know, if you don't got it, you out of society. Cause and once again, Esau works through gradualism. They're gonna slowly assimilate or slowly push you out. They're gonna slowly push you out of society if you don't have it. You know, they're gonna say, yo, soon you're gonna go and then wait. At first this used to be this, but it's not this anymore. You know, then you're gonna go and then soon this is gonna be, you know. That's right, exactly. That's why he specifically said that. You know, in their hands or in their foreheads, not in their cheeks. So soon you're gonna go and they're gonna say, oh no, we don't. Look, it's the same process they used for this thing. They started off with the masks and the social distancing. They said it was recommended, right? Then it became a requirement. Now you gotta have it on. Now you gotta stay this amount of feet away from such and such. Now put that to the side. We got a new thing now. Now you can't just come in here with just a mask and be good. No. If you want to come in here, you gotta have something else. So that's how these devils gonna move, right? You had cash, you had card, you had credit, debit, but soon the same way they put the masks to the side, and the new thing became they're gonna put the credit cards and debit cards to the side, and the new thing is gonna be that. And it's gonna hold just more than your money. It's gonna be your everything. So the hour of temptation is real. And it's going to be a heavy, heavy temptation upon everybody on the earth. And a lot of people who don't have the Spirit of the Lord, they're going to fail that test. And if you fail that test, that's your life right there. You know, that's the test of life. If you fail that test and you take that thing, Revelation 14 and 9 and 10 is waiting for you. All right? Anyway, I'm going to end it here. That's pretty much it. That's the main point I wanted to hit. Lord willing, you know, hey, if you saw it, you saw it. Hopefully they don't take the video down because, you know, the topic that we went into. All right? But Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.